Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is another edition of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans, and we are inside Maui Comics and Collectibles. I am Aaron of the Rave Corner, and to my left, we have Swan, who's nicely decked out. Swan, the War Chief.
Yeah, no, it's actually a vest from the Warriors, too.
Exactly.
You guys don't need to see it.
Hashtag Encounters of the Nerd Kind. And
That's
we got two special guests with us today. Rob. I'm sorry.
Blu-ray
Whoreder. Aaron, messing up on the first take,
right.
dude.
Who you gonna call?
Blu-ray Whoreder.
Not Aaron.
So we got the Blu-ray Whoreder.
We also have a very special friend of mine. I knew this guy for a long time, and I always loved his movie reviews. We have Jaren in the house today as well.
Hey, guys.
All right, so today we are gonna talk about Yokai Watch.
Whoa, get this.
Wait. No, I got the cap. I got the caps.
No.
What?
We're not doing that. I put the Ecto one out because you said almost 5 episodes ago we will do Ghostbusters if I watch it. I watched it, damn it, and we're reviewing it.
Well,
No.
But
I did not call Jaren down here for nothing. We're reviewing Ghostbusters.
All right.
There you go. Thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the new Ghostbusters movie, and pass next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I set up for nothing.
Review over.
Okay.
Well, no, I want our guests to start off with. So we'll start off with Jaren. What did you think about Ghostbusters?
I thought it was pretty okay. I mean, in the back of my mind, I was watching the original right before the new one, and I was like, hey, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. And watching this new one, I was like, damn, they changed a little bit of this, they added a little bit of that. And like looking at the plot line for the brand new one, I was like, what is this? Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed?
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Those effects were much more believable than this movie.
Exactly. Yeah, actually. I believe you on that one.
Thank you.
It did remind me of Scooby-Doo, honestly.
Right? Thank you.
Just the premise of it all. And
except there's no man in a mask.
It does have this whole thing where human ghosts have the blue aura around them, whereas creatures or specifically a demon, they gotta be green.
Yeah.
Or anything
Yeah,
that's not
but it's funny though, because then what the heck is Slimer then? Because he's the least of the demonic of anything.
Oh,
he was like the fun, child-loved character of the show, I remember. I mean, from the real Ghostbusters to Slimer in the real Ghostbusters, heck, even Extreme Ghostbusters, that was like the most loved character at one point in the whole show.
And he deserved a little more screen time too.
Yeah. But carry on with your review. What else did you think? Like, I understand you're looking more to those effects, but what do you think about as casting and overall, and besides the plot lines? Did you feel that some characters were holding back, or did you feel some people did not have enough screen time to like display their comedic sides?
Seeing that this is a Paul Feig movie, and he's mostly really known for his R-rated comedies such as Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy, and you have your two runner-ups who are Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. And I think they're really held back in this one only because they're not dropping F-bombs or, saying a lot of explicit or sexual jokes.
There's that PG-13 rating.
There's
basically.
that PG-13 rating to it. But, I mean, like they were funny, they were okay. It's just that don't expect to go sing a Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy full-on, R-rated comedy. And that's what I feel like they were just trying to, like, ease a little bit, like, hey, there's these people and what they're all about. But at the same time, it's like, are they playing Ghostbusters or are they Ghostbusters?
Right.
Yeah.
Even Kate McKinnon too felt a bit restricted because I like some of the characters she portrays in SNL. She is like killing it. But for some reason, she seems to just like a little bit reserved because she's supposed to be the engineer who just dances or nerds out to anything.
Yeah. And I haven't seen any of her SNL stuff, and I want to now because she was one of the favorite scene stealers for me.
I would recommend you look at this Little Mermaid parody that she did with Ariana Grande. She was the host at the time.
Oh,
so basically,
okay.
the gag is Ariana Grande and Cecily Strong.
My favorite.
Ariana Grande, Cecily
SNL
Strong,
stuff.
and Kate McKinnon are mermaids, but they
She
come
comes
from
out as-
different fishes.
But she comes out as a globfish.
Blobfish.
And her name is Shud.
Yeah.
And this one sailor out of all of them is like, oh, I wonder who says it. What's up, man?
Yeah.
My name's Shud, man. I'm here to help you.
Yeah, if you basically look up Blobfish, you'll see...
She'll be like the #1 video on that feed.
Yeah, exactly. So do check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Also, some other stuff is like when she's with these 3 people and she's a part of something like an alien abduction. And she's like talking about like how she was abducted and her stuff was unpleasant versus the other 2 guys are like real hippy-dippy about it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh man, we had an amazing experience. She's like, nah. I woke up without my pants on, going all Porky Pig in the place. And, it just was so weird because they came and they wanted to touch my breast and whatnot.
And a lot of her comedic stuff is just very natural, and it didn't seem scripted at all.
Right.
And I really like that.
She was the only character I believe they underestimated out of the whole thing on the cast.
Yeah.
Right. So aside from that, I think her imitating as Justin Bieber, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, she does a pretty good Hillary Clinton impression.
Oh yeah.
So do check that out. Anything else you thought about the movie? Anything that you want to throw in?
I very much enjoyed the cameos. I thought that was well deserving to be in there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I felt Bill Murray was just collecting a check to get out of there. Dude, I don't know. I felt that vibe. I was like, everybody gave a crap to be in it except for him.
Right.
I agree.
As if Dan Aykroyd was the only one who probably embraced it so much.
So much.
Well, he does go as far as, you know, helping plug and support the movie on other shows. I'm not sure if Bill Murray have done the same, but for me, I thought it was kind of like interesting to see him play like this one debunker of all myths, and he's just in there as a grump. But I don't know.
No, and I kind of like that too. Is that the fact that they were discrediting the girls to be, you know, the next Ghostbusters. It felt like that's what it really was in its message amongst everyone, like really not looking forward to this movie because of what they decided, like the direction that they decided to take.
Right.
And so it was kind of nice to see that, like, you know, these girls are being underestimated outside the box and inside this movie.
It is hard to sell the concept of ghosts being real, and I did like the part where they took a jab at the other so-called reality ghost shows.
Yeah, ghost jumpers.
Yeah, ghost jumpers, basically. And it is like basically a bunch of people with the first-person view. You know, they got the camera and people jumping to jump scares that we can't see ourselves, going, what was that?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the movie as?
Ooh.
He
Well,
says
I give it a 1 to 10.
Yeah, 1 to 10.
1
Or
to 10.
or if it's easier, we'll half it.
Or how
1
about
to
this?
5.
No, or if you want, use a grading scale from an A to F.
A to F.
I'm gonna give it like how I gave it on my Instagram one, and
Yeah.
I gave it a C+.
Nice.
It is just right there in the middle. I can't hate it. I didn't say I loved it, but it's watchable. I saw it twice already. I mean, yeah.
So you find it as a thing that you can go back to, like, not every single time. Like, like, oh, what am I going to watch Ghostbusters? But like a once in a great while kind of film.
Yeah, because if you stop to compare it, you know, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it if you stop to compare it. But watching this movie, having an open mind to see what it is without seeing that, oh, you know, I really love the first one. You know, it's still a watchable film, and I found it a lot more funnier than some of the movies that have been claimed by other critics that have been, you know, funnier movies throughout the year.
Oh, that's the thing. When you have professional critics grading it compared to how we feel as individuals, normally there's a pretty huge margin in between.
Huge margin.
Right. And so I'm guessing we're going to move on to Blu-ray Whoreder. He's been
Yes.
sitting there all quietly, like he's about to just bust out his
Gloves
proton
are
pack.
off.
No,
His hands are on the table.
I'm not. I mean, to be honest, I'm not a real, you know, like,
Ghostbusters person.
yeah, Ghostbusters in general. I thought it was, you know, okay comedy, but it's not like one of my go-tos. So I went in objectively. What I couldn't stand is just everyone who grew up on that film, just the unnecessary hate that it received without even, you know, watching it, just judging it by the trailers. You know, they made it sound like it was, you know, some feminist thing. Yes, it had well, that's arguably a female cast when you have that beast Leslie
Well,
Jones
that's the
in there.
misogynistic side of the world.
Yeah.
That
But-
was really against it.
I felt Leslie Jones was funny.
For once, she was funny to me.
Yes. Kristen Wiig, I felt like her character, I mean, she went to MIT and all that, supposed to be this genius, but they, you know, she was really dumb in that film.
Yeah.
There was an upgrade to, a much needed upgrade to the special effects. The CGI, I thought was fine.
Yes, now they're Scooby-Doo level.
I wasn't a big fan of the Slimers girl kind of thing. They just kept popping around.
Oh yeah, like,
and-
come
and
on,
driving
lady, we're gonna go
around.
joyride.
I thought the main villain, the ghost sign, and how that was alright for me.
Goodness.
But overall, rewatchable. But I probably wouldn't have this in my collection.
Even
even if I'm a completist, I'm a completist too. So I have Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters
That's actually
2.
And I was watching your video last night. I was like, this is a must-have in your collection, the digipack of 1 and 2.
Yes. for once, I know of a title that he'll skip right over.
Yeah.
And then there's the G section where there's this ghost. No.
But if he does have it in his section, it's like, I know.
It's an empty case, not with the disc. Don't worry.
What would have put it over the top if somehow they could have paid big money for Rick Moranis to just make a small cameo? I know he's retired, but you know,
that was the one cameo that we
money.
never saw. Well, actually, there's a few more characters, but you know, Rick Moranis was the big one that everyone questioned.
Wait, you want a comeback of Sigourney Weaver?
Well, here's the thing: they just totally freaking dissed her towards the end. It's like, yeah, we'll put you in the credits.
Yeah, that was the credits.
Like that was
insulting.
so. That's a low blow with the Sigourney Weaver.
Wait, you're saying that she actually made an appearance in this one, but
yeah,
but it was cut out.
No, if you watch the movie, now we know you haven't.
I have.
You haven't watched the credits, so you haven't watched the movie.
I haven't stuck through the
You
end
gotta
credits.
watch.
When
There's
it
the
ended, I was
post-credits.
out.
No,
Credits.
you
There's like
totally
the first
skipped
one,
like
and then there's like the very last one.
There's like one where it's like, hey guys, and she's Holtzman's mentor.
It's at the
and Sigourney Weaver, and she's like helping them.
I left right after Chris Hemsworth started to get a little bit better at answering calls. I'm like, oh,
Okay, yeah.
It is literally like
no
you're
need for me
literally
to
a
see
few
more.
seconds out the door before you miss that.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you know, Aaron, that just tells us you just wrote it off.
Yeah.
like
you got the closest seat down to
So
the
we already
there
know
was-
what Rob's grading is. I'm gonna guess F.
No,
Okay, so-
not at all. Not at all.
Well, if you're saying you didn't want to own it, that's an F.
On a scale of 10, 5.5 stars.
5.5. Okay, so I did see the movie. I did leave during post credits, only because I'll just talk about my first gripe about the film. It was, just the whole thing about Chris Hemsworth. He's playing like a guy who's supposed to be smart, but then he comes off as a bumbling idiot who just doesn't know anything at all.
So dumb.
Not even how to answer a simple, or just take a message after answering a call. That kind of stuff. Like, oh, hey, hi, how are you? Okay, and then, he just hang up. Oh, yeah, they were just yelling in my ear, and I just didn't want to hear anything of it. Like, you were supposed to do your job, but towards the end, oh, yeah, so they did borrow some elements from the first and second movie. Like, for example, Chris Hemsworth was possessed by the main villain, so therefore he was the subject of carrying out the ploy. Sort of like how Sigourney Weaver in the first one was the victim of carrying out the thing on top of the rooftop. But at the same time, when it was over, it's like he knows he was possessed, but he just shrugged off. He like, cool, give me my lunch. That kind of stuff. Oh, and of course there were a lot of product placements in there, like the 7-Eleven logo. Out of all the logos that he designed himself, like really, 7-Eleven.
It could be Batman versus Superman worse, where you want a product placement Jolly Rancher.
It really was. But okay, so that aside, storyline wise, it was actually it was easy to follow, but at the same time, it wasn't. I'm actually caught right in the middle with you guys. It was easy to follow. There were some flat moments, but at the same time, it wasn't enough to make me want to rage quit in between the movie, so to speak. The whole plot, it was as simple as it gets. You got this one guy who was possessed the whole time. Turns out he was the logo of the whole Ghostbusters thing in the end. But what I liked about the villain in his first human form was that he kind of reminded me of Sam Smith, but it was
a chubby Sam Smith.
Yeah, but just from New York, and he speaks sophisticated in a theatrical kind of way. That's what I liked about him.
Oh man, he's writing down his lyrics instead of drawing the evil ghost.
Well, you have to admit that every time he was, like the first time he met Leslie Jones, he was talking in some kind of rhetoric that made you think, this dude is like really theatrical or emo, but at the same time, he looks like Sam Smith, who is very lyrical in his songs. So I kind of like putting that connection in my mind. That was pretty much it. Let's see. As far as jokes, most of them fell flat. But there was at least one or two that actually made me laugh. One had nothing to do with the ladies. It was that guy who we see on Jimmy Fallon show, you know, the sidekick. It just so happens he's the dean of that university that kicks out Melissa McCarthy's character. And then, you know, the creative way he did to actually flip them off, I never thought people can do it in that way, so it kind of made me giggle.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that was actually way played out. I mean, I kind of knew that he was, you know, they were kind of building up into it, but then just the elaborate way he did it, I gave the movie that. And the second one was the climax, when they thought, you know, we're going to have to grab this giant, like, ghost, or but how are we going to make him stagger? Let's just aim all of our photon beams right at his crotch. It's like, oh my gosh.
And I want to jump on that subject real quick, and I really admire this movie for the new gadgets that they brought out.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. It really served up the action sequence at the very end.
Oh yeah, these ones were different in that in the first and second movie it was used more or less like a laser beam, but the this one is more like a lasso, so to speak. Because you see it actually wrap around, and then they have to do the whole tugging motion. Get in on this. Swan the Warrior shakes his head, getting fired up.
The vest is off now.
The vests are off. Yeah. Now he's gonna play dirty when his turn is next.
Oh, if I want to play dirty, I'll just turn the mic off on you.
You're like, unplug the cord.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did introduce that sort of new technology. Of course, the new Ghostbusters mobile is now a hearse, and then cameo by Ernie Hudson. He's the guy who owns the hearse, but he didn't necessarily give permission for them to use it that way. But yeah, like if I were to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 5. A to F, it's a C.
Right now, you know, I'm actually gonna be honest. I looked up 80 reviews of this movie. Everyone gave it a C except for one person who gave it a D on their own personal thing because they're such a diehard fan, which they couldn't really hold themselves to. So
I did view it more as a remake than a sequel.
See, that's what I did too. I went in there as an open-minded person because then, you know, it's like, it's Ghostbusters. It's all supposed to be fun, loving, and it's for the next generation of people that we got to really get in our heads. Sometimes it's never really made for the old fans, but to wrangle in new fans, I always try to exclaim and pressure on. It's like how Batman v Superman was supposed to be. Even though that movie wasn't really, So what else are you...
I think that was pretty much it. Oh. Yeah, like, I just wanted to point out that didn't the main villain kind of remind you of Sam Smith?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I'm kind of glad you stole that out of me. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you think about the score, the remake to Ghostbusters?
Oh, you mean the one with Lenny Kravitz?
Which one? There's
Missy
3
Elliott?
different versions.
I have the CD in my car. There's so much covers.
No, Lenny Kravitz. It's Fall Out Boy.
Oh, my bad.
Yes, Fall Out Boy.
There's
Pentatonics.
Pentatonics did theirs. There's 3, and I'm kind of glad. Walk the Moon.
Yeah.
I like Walk the Moon the best. Pentatonics, yes. Fall Out Boy, get the hell out of here. I mean, I'm sorry, Missy Elliott, get your freak on someplace else.
Yeah, that one didn't quite work.
No,
as a guilty, honest thing, I mean, like,
you liked it. I know you liked it.
I liked it to an extent.
You liked it. I knew it. That's why I said it.
It's so weird. Like, I literally like turn around to see if anybody sees me like clicking like the one part of my radio. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to this one.
Oh, there's a person. Better turn back. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a guilty pleasure song.
It's a guilty pleasure song. It's not likable, but it's listenable to me, and I feel so bad because like.
Well, are you a fan of either Missy Elliott or Fall Out Boy?
It's Fall Out Boy.
See, I thought so.
It was Missy Elliott.
See, as long as I knew Jaren, anything Fall Out Boy, he's a fan of. Like, I remember when Big Hero 6 came out, and this guy was just like all psyched over them.
But the song does literally end for me once Missy Elliott comes on. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's when I switch on, and I'm like, oh, come on, Missy, you can't.
Come on. Yeah. This is the comeback of your career now.
But, you know, I do feel like every time I listen to it, it's like, God damn it, they paid them, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. It had to be. It had to be.
You guys did beat it for Colonel Ghostbusters.
Considering how creative Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott can be in their own concept, can you
creative
actually...
is a strong word to use.
Come on, they are.
For Missy Elliott, yeah. Like, I'm not a big fan of Fall Out Boy because they got their name off of a Simpsons character.
Oh, okay.
Don't go there with me. I know Radioactive Man very well and Fall Out Boy.
Oh, you know, I actually skimmed over Radioactive Man. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Creative wise, pending on Fall Out Boy. Any rebuttals? Anyways.
Sorry. Going back.
Yeah. So
what did I think about it? Is that what this is getting into?
Yeah, I think we're gonna pass down the torch to you.
Okay, so
the war chief.
All right. So this is what I think about it. I'm gonna agree with all you guys. It was a C. I think we overlooked one of the biggest parts of the movie, which is the best part of the movie. They fought the ghosts and they can whip them just like in the cartoon show. Because you watch the first movie, they don't do that. They shoot the streams. This one, they're whipping, they're wrangling, they're blasting them, they're shredding them. They actually did something so well that I liked the most. That was the best part. Is that not only that, ghosts were bringing out more ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Did not like that huge tall guy. Like his effects was crap, but when he was bringing out all the other ghosts to fight,
he was the ringmaster, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the ringmaster of the show. Like, I'm gonna tell you, that's my biggest con I love about it, is because of the fact that
the biggest con that you love.
Yes, the biggest con I love because all the effects suck. So
I got it.
It's a half and half. I call it a pro con, but you saw what I did there with the proton.
Hashtag it pro con.
Hashtag proton. Okay, but like, about that though, it's just you're watching them do stuff that you only see in the cartoon, because in the real Ghostbusters they wrangled, you've seen it whip around them. This one is just like they shot it until they got tired. And when I saw her bring out the blaster and the two guns, and now you can punch ghosts, you can put them through a chipper of sorts, that was such an interesting thing to me, because then I was just, wow, I never thought this movie would have dealt it, because it seemed like from those trailers they took all the crappiest scenes, which they did, and just put it in one big trailer for everyone to be mind screwed.
Well, wouldn't you agree that it was a little bit better doing it that way instead of
really. I would have liked there to be something that nobody should just like give instant negativity on. Did you know that was like one of the most disliked videos?
I know it was, like, but at the same time, if you were to compare that, then instead
right there,
of
that's the big
all
part.
of the best parts of the movie in the trailer, and then when you go back and watch it, all of the best parts you've already seen, so you're going to pay attention to the stuff that you didn't see, and then they fall short.
Use the keyword to me, which is compare. This movie wasn't supposed to compare itself to the original, but yet it did at times. Didn't everyone feel like, this isn't going to compare itself to the first movie, but we're going to compare it anyway?
I was only comparing trailers.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying in the movie, that's what I felt like I was watching. It's a comparison to the original, yet it's trying not to be a comparison to the original. Also, from what I didn't get in those trailers, is just that the fact of the matter is, my point was being right. Joan Rivers is now a ghost in Ghostbusters. She's the female Slimer. And that's just the big joke I always had in Alika.
Oh, really? I didn't make that connection because
John Belushi was Slimer, because he was supposed to be a Ghostbuster.
Well, what I saw was just a duplicate of a Slimer.
Or did you see like from Married with Children kind of style of Slimer? That's what she looked like, was Peg. Peg, and that's Al Bundy in the way. Yeah, Al and Peg aren't wrestling very well apparently.
I have to say that this one, I liked it better than Part 2.
Yes.
Okay, no.
Part 2 is garbage.
No. Let's see something out of the way. 2 was just a remake of 1. It's an exact same thing, but with different aspects. Where they fought a painting.
Picture, yeah.
Right. So, fighting portraits is hard work. Let's just give it some credit. But it replaces number 2 for me. It replaces number 2. Number 2 still is really bad to me. We got our third Ghostbusters movie. That's what I want to get out of the way. Every freaking diehard fan asks, Ghostbusters 3, Ghostbusters 3. We got Ghostbusters 3 when the video game came out, because that continued off with the new character, Luke Haas. Also, it gave us Shandor that everyone wanted to see. That was our 3, because I look at it, how old is everybody now compared to if you were to try and do a Ghostbusters 3? I get that you want it. It's a thing that everyone loves, but we got it. Let's move on from it. This is a remake.
I gotta admit, though, as far as the second movie goes, my favorite part was when they happened to spray the inside of the Statue of Liberty with all that slime, and then they got it to move via joystick. I love that part. They played the music on speakers to get it to move. Like, I love that scene.
We all love shooting slime all over a woman, but
no,
it was the part that really ruins it
for me.
Is 4 guys shot slime inside of a woman.
No, I loved it because
nothing wrong there.
There was come on. There was actually a police escort as they got the Statue of Liberty walking like a robot, and then
everybody casually watched it
just to the crash through the rooftop.
Well, we can't have the Stay Puft happening twice. I mean, like,
I actually love the Statue of Liberty spot.
I love the Statue of Liberty. It was good. It was fun in the Ghostbusters 2 video game for NES as well. But what I'm trying to talk about is this movie. Let's stay on the topic of this one. It is a total remake, but it's an interesting one at the same time, because it gave aspects that they never showed in the first one. As the first one had a montage. I actually said this on the last podcast I was joining, but somebody introduced it to me like this. There was no montage because everything was happening in real time. So you watch the progression. It's not like dun 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 dun, then cut down, then it's to the big fight. No, they're showing the build up of how these guys are starting off from scratch. They show the testing of these equipment and gadgets. That stuff we never saw in the first one. Interesting scenes. I did not like the queef joke. Like, that was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Refresh my
Yeah.
memory about
Where they go up to the recorder and then the fart comes and he's like, is it more disgusting if it comes from the front?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
there's a lot of stale humor. That's the other bad thing with it. Kate McKinnon was the saving grace in this movie, I have to say. She was never boring. She was beautiful as heck. I mean, seriously, that's the Ghostbuster I want to date. Like,
Did you feel like a bit awkward at times that she came off as a little bit too nerdy?
No, not really. That's no, there's no such thing. Like, to me, like, that was in that movie. There was no such thing because Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, they look like they held back a lot in that movie.
Yeah, and I felt like they were just being them.
Like, I know they're more famous for the rated R stuff and their comedy, but it seems like they're just trying a little bit too hard not to be themselves. Like, they should just let it come naturally. Leslie Jones is the biggest surprise to me because I do not laugh at her a lot. The only time I ever laughed was an SNL sketch she did with Peter Dinklage.
Yes,
Naked and Afraid, Celebrity
Hilarious.
Edition. My favorite and only good one with her. But this one is like, she was funny, she was this. But this movie also bases off a fan theory. And also, I give them a very well round of applause to that Harold Ramis cameo. That was a very clever thing to do.
Was that the
bust? Yeah, that was Harold Ramis's cameo.
Okay, I thought I was looking at it really hard, but it's like it happened so fast, and I was like, okay, that's why I'm watching it again.
The other ones were so terrible though. Ernie Hudson, Harold Ramis. That's the only two I like. Like, really, Bill Murray took the cameo to a whole point where he was a new character.
He had the most airtime too.
But you both heard my fan theory on it, and it's a theory that I don't say it's concrete, but my thing is the original Ghostbusters and why, if never, everyone paid attention to how fast they were trying to debunk it as a hoax from the start. So my thing is, like, when the mayor did the thing, they all under agreement that they'll go change their identities, go underground, do stuff, and they'll just like try and fade away. And over the years, maybe they have 30 years is a long difference from when a Statue of Liberty and a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was wallowing through the town. And with that being said, when these guys came back, they instantly named them Ghostbusters because they're like, wow, it's like back then when these guys actually helped out, which leads them back to the trailer and said 30 years ago, 4 scientists saved New York. Like, when I think about that, it's all playing back to my fan theory that maybe they all changed their names, identities, just to go underground, to go into hiding, just for now. And with this whole resurgence of the Ghostbusters, they may make an appearance in costume, except for Harold Ramis. And they could say, well, the reason why we stopped is we lost one of our kind inside a more recent fight after that. Then we disbanded and we told the mayor, make sure we keep this thing all under wraps. Let's never try and do this again. That's my big fan theory on it. Also,
that could be a possible sequence.
It's a possible sequence because then it also can give in Harold Ramis off as the Extreme Ghostbuster did on Egon Spangler, that there are students involved. He could have been the bust because he was probably a founder or a chancellor at one point at that university or a lead researching scientist. And it could introduce my favorite Ghostbuster of them all, which is Garrett, the paraplegic one from Extreme Ghostbusters. I love that because that was such an interesting twist to me. And if they do Extreme Ghostbusters, it gives more interesting diversity to the cast. But however, I believe it wasn't the casting's fault. I believe it was the writing's fault that why this movie was so bad. Because the writing really was just sloppy. I like the fact that there was a human villain, but I don't believe it was a human villain. Because the fact that when he was talking to the mirror, it didn't sound like something, unless he's a complete lunatic, that would be something you do.
Yeah, that's why I found Rowan kind of weak.
Yeah.
He was a weak character.
But then it does explain when they show the giant Ghostbusters logo why they called it Rowan's Ghost. But I hated that because that's like a comparison to the first movie. Again, what form would you like me to take? Would you like, how about something stationary like a bullseye? Like, that never happened to Gozer. It's like, once Gozer hears the thought, it happens. But this one's like, I want a cute little friendly ghost. I'm just looking like, great. We're going to see the Ghostbusters logo. However, I have a lot of respect for that because they went back to the 80s animation style and they just like kind of, I felt in a way they paid homage to it.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that I just kind of so hard tried liking about this movie was the fact of the matter was Leslie Jones was made to set to fail as a character. That's what I felt because all her line was, is it a race thing or a lady thing? Because I'm mad as hell. Or get out of my friend Ghost. Like, that's all you see in her. That's supposed to be funny. But she's really funny because she's the historical one. She's the one that knows the layout of New York better than any of them. And they're scientists. She knows, like, oh yeah, there's an old prison here. There's this. They gave her a very intelligent character and they tried to dumb her down. That they should be ashamed about. But overall, like I said, there's many things I liked about this movie, but there's many things I didn't. It's balanced though. The one big thing I hated was that stupid dance scene. Because when I seen them do this, I'm like, why is that? Then I watched it as this is a rip off of The Mask. it's like Cuban Pete all over again. But except Jim Carrey, it's with Chris Hemsworth, who I hated the fact. Dude is Thor, and they dumb him down like crazy.
That was so annoying.
Like,
that was a big
yes, why no glass? Oh, they kept getting dirty, so I took him out. Oh,
like,
who guys?
So how can you see?
Like, yeah, and it's like, oh wow, that's super loud.
Yeah.
I was like, really? You don't know your eyes from your ears?
Phones in the aquarium.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Did you know aquariums are like submarines for fish? Like that was a funny last line. I laughed, but I was like, dude, you're Thor. The God of freaking thunder, and they do this to you? Like, what the? But it's just for me, it's interesting too because of the fact that they put all 3 versions of the theme song in the same movie.
Oh yeah.
Like you get the original in the beginning, and then you get Fall Out Boys in there. Thank God, not the whole movie. And then you got that one last one. Was that Walk the Moons at the end credits, or is that Pentatonics?
Oh, I believe it's Walk the Moon's one, but then I know that they're playing another song that's really crappy called Ghost, and it's when they're doing the whole dance montage with Chris Hemsworth, which was kind of painful.
I'm kind of glad they left that as a deleted credits only scene, because that was just terrible. I mean,
Aaron did walk out on a good time.
Yeah, Aaron walked out on a perfect time for that. I do like how they didn't do the whole cross the streams method. Like they did, the car's coming, guys. It's like a nuclear thing. We can make a protonic reversal off of it, an explosion. I'm just, okay, that's an interesting thing. Like, you're not going to do the whole cross the stream thing. Probably a diehard fan like myself would have loved to see it. I know what you're calling me out there, YouTube, a traitor to the original. But I'm just being fair towards this movie. Because this is the one movie that everyone kept telling me, don't prejudge it, as they prejudged it. And when I did a female Slimer drawing, everyone's like, don't mock this movie. There's women that love to see it. And it's not me mocking the movie. It's me trying to guess, like, what do I go into here with? But there's a point, they didn't even show Rowan. That's the part that I liked about the trailer the most. They kept him, like, the secret to the movie showed, if no one noticed. They showed Chris Hemsworth getting possessed. That's it.
I don't know. Like, I know it's not a big fat twist or surprise, but that could have been something that would have been saved for you to enjoy as a movie instead of knowing what you're going to see later on.
Yeah, and on the last podcast I got ripped to shreds for saying that it looked like Chris Hemsworth was the villain, and they told me, no, he got possessed. But did you ever stop to think what ghost possessed him? Because here I thought that it was somehow Shandor got into his body. Because I look at this looks like the architect's kind of style of work. I mean, for a guy to learn that all out of a book on their research, I doubt it. I think that there's more to go on the movie than it's showing. They're doing a lot of secrets to it, or it's supposed to be references to back into the comics probably. But I'm not going to go off on that much of a stretch. I'm just a really big Ghostbusters fan, and like Rob sat here last time through my rant on top Ninja Turtles and now Ghostbusters. Those are my 2 favorite franchises. But like, I'm kind of glad Aaron and Jaren's here and Rob, and you're like over here trying to kill me about it.
No,
you want to cut the video. I understand
let's
that.
end it. Let's end
no,
it.
No, let's not end it.
This.
We'll end it when I say I can end it.
This
concludes the lecture.
Do you predict that there's going to be a sequel? I do not, because it's tanking at the box office. It's only at about 80 right now, so unless the Blu-ray or the physical media gains it, it's going to struggle.
No, what I think what they're going to do is they're probably going to do what they did for Ghostbusters 3, make it a video game. If not, they're going to make it a comic series. If not, they're going to make it a cartoon or TV show. Somehow, they're going to do it to where, okay, guys, we're not going to get a second movie, but we're going to try and do something better. That's my thing. As far as the grade goes, it's a C plus in my book.
Okay.
And now I'm done talking. Thank you, Rob.
Good lecture. That was beautiful, man.
And there's like 80 freaking
Forrest Gump.
customers here.
They're gonna half of that's gonna get cut out.
Hate us.
Watch, it's gonna go, Swan, what do you think? And it's gonna go C plus.
Exactly.
And there's gonna be a second. There's gonna be a separate.
There's
gonna be a separate movie for this.
No, I can go over. It's fine.
Yeah. And then there's like great Swans talking.
You'll be the bonus features.
It'll be a straight like 15-minute sequence of Swan's picture just frozen, and you just hear a dub over of me imitating your voice while switching up the words.
And then the other podcast I was a part of is gonna make a comment. This is why we don't let him talk.
That's all right.
No.
All right, cool. So let's move on to the last part of the show. Of course, this is a random
question of the day.
So this one I'm actually gonna borrow from the movie. The first thing that made me get a kick out of the opening scene is when the guy's giving a tour around the haunted mansion, and he says that the mansion had anti-Irish security gates. And I thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. So when you heard him say that for the first time, what popped into your mind? For me, it was just like a metal gate with a sign that says "No Irish Allowed"? Maybe considering what was back in the time period. I really don't know what that is.
Well, first I think about Extreme Ghostbusters because there was an episode called Luck of the Irish where a leprechaun was going around stealing Irish people, and I'm guessing like Aldridge is supposed to be Irish, so I guess that's the thing. Like that's what I was getting. When I think of anti-Irish, I'm like thinking of Sheamus that just like wants to walk up and kick this guy in the head. Ninja Turtles better broke.
I mean, that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Blu-ray Whoreder. What was the first
I missed that part, but
yeah,
maybe
it's in the
like
first 3 minutes.
Since like the slime is green, that they affiliate it with Irish Spring.
Liquid soap.
So, Jaren, what is your take on it?
I missed that one too, but I just suddenly thought of Warwick Davis just causing havoc around
Willow's
that
in there.
Great.
As
Leprechaun. This is great. Now we're even. You guys missed the opening tour of the scene, and I missed the good cameo in the closing credits.
Well, but
you missed two.
Yeah, you missed
by
3.
reference, by verbal
Can I just
reference.
spoil it for you, Aaron?
Yes.
Like, the one thing everyone was really disappointed with at the end was they said, and Leslie Jones' character is listening to a recording, and she goes, "Hey guys, what's Zool?" Yeah, so that was like the big drop on there being a second movie right there.
Yeah.
But that's speculation right now. Also, did you guys ever
it's
get...
in Detroit. It's going to be in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. Or New Jersey the most. Or better yet, they're going to fight Sharknado. That's what probably the big crossover will be.
Oh my god.
But back to a main point. Did anyone know why the Chinese restaurant thing was a thing in the movie?
I honestly do not know.
Apparently it was a throwback to the original, and they're eating Chinese food. Like, this is the last of the cash.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Come to think of it, that is off topic. That is the most disgusting soup in a takeout container I have ever seen.
Oh.
My thing is, and I'm not being a racist, but why was like...
It's like diluted sewage with a little bit of thing in the bottom.
No, but why was it mattering how much wontons did she get? Because she got them at the end.
No. She wanted a specific ratio between wontons and soup.
Yeah, but
I'm
if you want to throw all those wontons at me, I'm going to eat them. Either way.
You got them.
And you got them for a fair price probably by the looks of it. Because that guy looked happy on like the first couple times he was seeing you. He's like, I'm in this movie. At the end of the movie. Okay, we're done filming this movie. No, I'm just messing with that one.
Okay, so... let's just end it here. Big thanks to Maui Comics and Collectibles. Follow the store on Facebook and Instagram at Maui Comics. And you're going to put the vest back on.
Yeah.
If you did love this episode and would love to see more episodes of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans into the future, feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, or you can also leave a random question of the day in the comment section, and we will answer them in the next episode. Blu-ray Whoreder. Do follow him on YouTube, youtube.com/Blu-ray Whoreder. And is there any other thing that you're going to do in the next Extremely Retro stream?
Our next Extremely Retro podcast stream will be top 25 worst movies.
Top 20? Oh, worst of the
yes.
Woo!
Worst movies.
So, can we all get in on that, or is that just a solo show for you?
You can get in on it.
Okay.
If you want you got a workable phone or computer.
We've got
hours. And you do need Google Plus and Google Hangouts.
Okay, we'll get you
figured
out.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll join in for that. What about you, Jaren? Any shout-outs? Anything you want to plug into the show?
I have a YouTube channel with just my first and last name, Jaren Obanawag. I'm not really doing any solid movie reviews on YouTube anymore because I just can't fit it in my schedule. But I am doing my movie reviews on Instagram. So just follow the hashtag Jaren's Movie Reviews, and you'll see most of my recent stuff. They're pretty much minute reviews, very simple. I share them on Instagram and Facebook, and yeah. Thank you guys for having me join, by the way.
No problem.
Anything you want to plug, Swan?
Yeah, I want to plug in. Check out Nerdwatch Nation at that YouTube name. Sorry for the very unspecificness. We go back on live next week, and that's about 7, 8 Central. And that's Thursday nights around 7. Also, follow the hashtag Encounters of Nerdkind to my Instagram page where I post about comics and other collectibles. I'm getting the Facebook page up and ready. It's almost about to launch.
But are you still hashtagging on Facebook?
I'm still hashtagging on Facebook.
So check that out on Facebook.
Also on Facebook, hashtag as well will lead you to me. And so far, other than that, Friday Night Frights and throughout a very special shout out to two of our bigger fans from up in Haiku side.
Oh, nice.
You know, yeah, apparently they're two girls that actually just wanted to give a bunch of comments in, and they're very weird questions. We just ignore them because they're not worth answering. Just kidding. But yeah, shout out to Juliana and Aaliyah. Hopefully you guys like the videos and continue to watch us.
Alright, and also for figure reviews and more, check out the Rave Corner, which is myfavorave.blogspot.com. Of course, we want to thank you all for tuning in and watching us on YouTube. So until then, thank you, and we will see you next time.